At Channel Surfers, we have a crying crib of competition waiting for you at this episode. And Lauren, the weenie whistles came in, but I don't think we're going to need it.
I know, finally. Mama C's at my house right now while I'm at the beach. She's going to be driving down here today. It's only about an hour away, but she's doggy sitting. How are the puppies?
They're wonderful. I even took Teddy for a walk today. He's doing really well.
We did not get to this last night. I was tired, but let's talk about this Big Brother episode. Let's go.
Remote reality, yeah, that's the key. Unlocking stories wild and free. With the hosts side by side. Channel surfers, let's ride.
The episode starts out with Riley throwing a massive hissy fit over Mickey taking his HOA.
She couldn't reason with him. She had valid points, but he was so close-minded, he wouldn't listen at all. I thought she handled it fantastically. He was saying in the diary room, he was the first person to ever lose his HOH. I've seen this before.
The only thing I can remember is the coup d'etat that Jeff Schroeder used. It was Chima's HOH, and he was able to remove 2 nominations from the block right before the vote. And he put up Jesse and Natalie. So you pointed out that's not the same, though, because Chima was still the HOH. Also, interesting fact, I was listening to Crime Junkie, one of my favorite podcasts, and Chima, apparently, she survived a serial killer, the bathtub killer.
I saw that.
Yeah, she was one of the people that helped convict the serial killer because she was one of the survivors. That's pretty wild. Anyway, random trivia. So yeah, that's not exactly the same.
It might have been last season. I tried to Google it last night, but I got tired. Sorry, people, I'm old. Maybe an HOH has been taken over, but no one knew who the person was who took it over. This is the problem that Riley has. He doesn't get the HOH room. He doesn't get letters from home. He doesn't get his snacks. It's just all snatched right from under him. I could see the emotion in this. People are waiting for letters from home. I wanted to ask you a question. Would you be all emotional if I wrote you a letter? I don't think so.
Trying to figure out what response that would elicit in me. I would be happy that my mom wrote me a letter. I might be a little embarrassed.
Well, the thing is, you're different from a lot of these young people. You have a husband and you got a little child. So that would elicit more emotion than, I guess, my letter. Okay.
Baby. There's a difference. I'm on Prozac. I don't have emotions. So yeah, this is just a massive meltdown. And I get the family side, but he needs to pull it together because he's just putting a huge target on his back. I don't know why Riley would do this. Why wouldn't Mickey throw your butt up? She's HOH now.
He was really lying to her and she knew it. Was it Zach who told her? Who was it that told them, or Vinny? Somebody told them. She doesn't want to reveal who told her because then they would have a target on their back and she needs her alliance. So
who told her what?
That Riley was going to put her up on the block. Yeah, and so Riley's over there lying about it, but Mickey knows that he said it. And he's just it's not even getting through to him at this point.
Mickey was right. He was going after her, Ashley, and Morgan. She didn't have a choice. She had to use it. So what did you think about Riley and Catherine crying outside the HOH room?
They should have chosen a different place to have their conversation. They were right there as Rachel and somebody else were bringing up the things for Mickey for her HOH. Let's go to the have-not room. I haven't seen enough of that. Let's go to the gym. Let's go outside. There are plenty of places. Oh my gosh, you could even go up in the balcony outside.
It was intentional. They just wanted to have everybody know how hurt they were over Mickey playing the game. God forbid somebody in this house do something smart and make a move. So sad. So this Riley and Catherine showmance was not on my radar.
No, it wasn't on mine either. However, she sees the inside. she sees how caring he is. And he is. I mean, you see later when he's talking and apologizing to Mickey for the way he acted, he does have some empathy.
And they both have that short firecracker, get their feelings hurt and panties in a wad attitude. Kat over Ashley showering. Okay, I know. Everybody come at me. Everybody took Mama C's side on the Ashley showering thing. But also last week when Ashley came out smiling after talking to Riley, I guess in retrospect, if she had these feelings for Riley, maybe she felt like Ashley was making fun of her man.
Yeah, I don't remember the reason why Ashley was smiling. Who was she talking to? She was talking to the HOH. Who was the HOH?
Riley.
No.
Yes. Riley was the HOH who got overthrown and Mickey took it over.
Yes, but I don't think he had that much time. I don't even think he saw his room. It was before the vote last week. It's HOH last week. So Jimmy, Rachel, Mickey, and Ashley are talking. And Jimmy is so excited because one of the triple threat alliance people is the HOH, and he feels very safe. So he's very excited about that. Then Mickey starts talking about Kelly, Riley, Catherine, and Keanu had all voted for Will to leave. So she is going to be putting up one or more of those people. Her target, of course, is Keanu.
Yeah, she wants to avenge Will. And it makes sense. When your alliance member wins, you're supposed to feel good about it. So we go to this crazy little segment where Lauren is sitting on the couch outside with Rachel, and she's saying that she used to design t-shirts, but then she got bored of that. And it just made me think about how I've spent so many hours this week designing merch tees, which I will drop eventually. I'm not going to get bored of it, but I just want the store to look really good before I launch it. But during this conversation, something unexpected happens.
Yes. Ava burps in her mouth and spits out the tea that she was drinking. And all of a sudden, the big brother edits starts putting in all this canned laughter.
There are so many sound effects, which just made it so much more interesting.
We could do it too.
Say something funny. Yeah, we have sound effects too. It's Kelly's birthday week. Happy birthday, Kelly.
Happy birthday, Kelly. And I just have to say, it might be because they're young, but when you're old, I don't see the birthday months or birthday weeks. I'm happy that I'm alive and I woke up on my day of my birth and I think of my mom. So I guess it's my age.
You think about Grandma?
I do, because she gave birth to me that day.
Well, I think about Grandma too, because I had Jake the next day, and I always think, however many years ago, so what, 68?
68. Well, no, at the time Jake was born, it was 64.
But every year I just think how many years ago my grandma and I were doing the same thing. Because I was induced on your birthday, but Jake just took forever to get here.
Well, and my mom was older. She was a little bit older than you were, but, you were a little older when you had your first.
She was about Rob's age as he was when we had Jake, 42, and I was 37. So yeah, I think about Grandma on your birthday too. That's so sweet. All right, big brother, Riley and Kelly. Yeah, I don't make a big deal for my birthdays either, but I have friends that do. They like to go out and do stuff, and it's fun. I don't know. It's just us. Same thing like with weddings. You and I, when I didn't want a big wedding, you didn't care.
Right. It was a pajama wedding.
It was. We can get into that another time for sure. That's an interesting story, Channel Surfers.
You said that a couple of episodes ago when we first started this.
I don't think I've told the story yet.
No, you didn't, but that's okay.
We'll save it for another day. So Kelly says she doesn't want to go on the block. I don't blame her. It's been 4 weeks now, week 4. She's on the block every single week.
And I have blamed her for that. And I said it the first time she did it, that she was going to be put up every week. So
you know the game better than Kelly. So to try to negotiate her safety, Kelly tells Mickey she doesn't want to go on the block. And Mickey says the reason I would put you up is because I'm afraid that you would use the veto and change my noms. So Kelly says, well, I won't change your noms. If I get picked to play veto, I promise not to use it. If you don't put me up, it's my birthday. Give this to me as my birthday present. I won't change your nominations. So that just completely takes away the reason that Mickey is telling Kelly that she wants to put her up. She's like, you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to put me up.
Now we have to remember the point that if Mickey does not put up Kelly on the block, if Kelly wins the veto, she will not use it. And she promises. You got to remember
comes
that.
Up later.
That's right.
Who wants to see my HOH room?
Everybody but Riley. He didn't look like he was very happy. However, he goes up there and he hugs Mickey and they reconcile with each other. And I really thought that was a tender moment. I really liked both of them immensely during that clip. Mickey is playing a wonderful social game and a strategic game. She tells everybody, this is just a game. It's nothing personal. And that's true. People get into their emotions so much that they forget it's a game. And everybody is out to win $1 million. They don't want you to get it.
She says the same thing to Keanu.
Right. And she doesn't blow smoke in his face or lie about why she put him up. He's not stupid, and he tells her that. He knows he's going up.
Yeah, I wonder if the letter from Mickey's mom melted Riley. But he said, I love you. And what do you think about Mickey telling Riley that she is wanting him to take out Keanu in the competition, that he's the best person? Do you agree that Riley is the best person to take Keanu out of a physical competition?
Well, he won the last HOH competition, which was
True.
fairly physical. But that's the strategic game I'm talking about. She's looking at putting Riley up to take out Keanu. And then, I don't know why she's putting Kelly
She's looking
up.
at putting Kelly up because of the mental game, because she's
right.
good at the mental competition, and she thinks in a blockbuster, Kelly could make sure that Keanu doesn't win that.
But see,
It is a really good strategy.
It
Makes sense
is.
she's working with Rachel.
But this is the problem. If you don't beat out, if Kelly doesn't win, if Riley doesn't win, Keanu comes off. And then who do you have to vote off? You have no one to vote off.
Well,
You
she
have
knows that's
two
the
pawns.
problem, and she's doing her best to mitigate that risk.
Right.
What do you do? Unless you don't put him up and then throw him up after the veto. You still have the blockbuster, but that takes one of the competitions for safety out for Keanu. Nation ceremony. Mickey puts up Keanu, of course, her target. Riley and Kelly. Poor Kelly. It's her birthday. She's sad. The way that they do nominations now better than the past, where they used to have that huge circle and they pulled out all the keys of players that were safe. Now, it was fun sometimes because you might have someone pull out someone else's key to kind of give a hint about your game, but it was so boring. So long. Mickey and Riley, they're all cuddled up in the backyard on the hammock. And Mickey tells Riley, if you win veto, don't use it. I don't want to have to put up a replacement nom. And during this conversation, I start to wonder if there was even more strategy going into this Riley nomination.
Strategy on whose part?
On Mickey's part, because she basically hints that Kat will go up if Riley uses the veto. And Riley's being a simp. He is going to risk his game, stay on the block so Kat doesn't have to. He would rather be up there than her. Smart move?
Could be.
What do you think?
Well, I don't want to say too much because we'll get into it later.
I just think back. If you can get off the block, you get off the block. Staying on there, not usually a good strategy unless you have a very clear alliance, very strong alliance with a strong foundation. We're not talking a week 4 alliance and you guys are running the house. That's fine. Still expect the unexpected, but that's a better situation than Riley in week 4 saying he would stay up. But I didn't realize he had such strong feelings for Kat. Or that she had such strong feelings for him. This just seems to have come out of nowhere. I'm sure people who are watching the live feeds have seen it happening, but Big Brother didn't really segue us into this. Jimmy thinks he has good gameplay.
He even admits he's playing all sides of the house.
Oh,
That's
Jimmy.
never a good strategy because it will come out.
And we said this. Mama C, we said Vince and Jimmy, they're playing every side. They are going to get busted. The Jenga block of power is going to come down on them. What is he thinking going to Keanu and Kelly and forming another alliance.
Called arrogance. He is just complacent with what's going on. He's just happy. He's at peace. Nobody's coming after him. He thinks he could play it.
And nobody is coming after him because he's an alliance and they feel like they can trust him. But if you start forming alliances with everybody, nobody in your alliances will trust you.
If he doesn't think he's going to get caught, there's the arrogance.
Like Keanu wouldn't blow somebody's game up.
To be honest, Keanu is probably playing one of the toughest games in there.
He is a comp beast.
He is.
And he's intelligent. And this is why, you picked him as number one. And Morgan's my number one. We did that just from reading their bios before the season started. Jimmy's an idiot. Riley and Kat, these two fools in love, they can't be torn apart. Week 4, they're realizing that if Keanu or Kelly win the veto, there's a possibility that they could be on the block together. No, there's a lot of sniffling going on. Kelly is in the HOH talking to Mickey. Mickey asks her, just like she asked Riley, don't use the veto if you want it. What do you think of this conversation, Mama C?
Well, it goes back to the promise Kelly made to Mickey that if she isn't put on the block and she wins veto, she would not use the veto. However, they never talked about when Mickey nominates Kelly and puts her on the block. Of course, she's going to fight for the veto and take herself off. But the other thing is, she's not guaranteed to play veto if she's not put on the block. And you had mentioned that Kelly and Riley were put on the block in order to make sure that Keanu is defeated in either the veto or the blockbuster.
Right. And Riley was specifically for the veto. That's what Mickey told him. And Mickey in this conversation is telling Kelly that she needs her to stay for the blockbuster. Mickey, then don't put Kelly up. She's already promised she promised not to use the veto, but I'm pretty sure if you told her to use it, she would. Question, is this a golden power of veto, or could she have used the veto and then they popped Kelly up on the block?
I think that they all are golden powers of veto now.
Gotcha.
There's no need for the old stuff.
Okay, well, Mickey's doing the best she can. It's a tough game.
And if you're not familiar with the golden power of veto, is if you win and take somebody off the block and you weren't on the block, then they can't put you up.
They can't nominate you.
Right.
Which regular vetoes, you could use it and then they could put you up. I think that's what happened with Marcellus. Really, what is happening here? We finally have Mickey playing strategy, and we're seeing that Keanu is almost unbeatable. She can only think of 2 people in the house that could beat him at competitions. She doesn't have a second person to throw up there. This is just showing the strength of Keanu, this predicament she's finding herself in.
And not only that, she's putting up people who voted for Will to go out. There's only 4 of them. And so these people who are supposed to be the comp beast are all on this one side.
That's true. I didn't think about that. They don't have Rachel Riley, though.
Well, and that's the thing. Rachel thinks she's a comp beast because she used to be.
She's not a comp beast, but she is a social beast. Her social game is maybe the best this season.
She's not getting a lot of time anymore. And that shows she's kind of riding the coattails of somebody.
Oh, is she a floater?
Should
she be grabbing a life vest? Rachel, grab a life vest. Veto competition. This looked like a really cool competition. You said they played it last season?
Yes. And I tell you what, this has been my favorite part of this season, I believe. We can start with Ava. Ava is hilarious. I love her little Vanna White moves. They were spot on. And I love it. Somebody should probably like her in the house, but then I forgot she's got a boyfriend.
I'll love her in this house. She is a favorite. Now for the veto comp, we've got Morgan picked to play and Rachel Riley picked to play, which you would think those are pretty 2 great shots. I mean, Morgan, she's a gamer. Keanu is a gamer. This is definitely like a gamer style competition. It reminds me of video games like Legend of Zelda, or I don't know, the ones where you have to remember a pattern.
Well, what's the name of that game that it's a circle and Simon says? Yes, it reminded me of that.
So I would think that Keanu and Morgan would do awesome at this. Morgan, though, she doesn't even make it past the first round. Rachel goes faster than anyone in that round. So maybe the comp beast is back.
She says that she's the comp beast, and it's about time she starts winning. So let's hope.
She makes it to the final 2 of this veto comp. But Keanu, Dungeon Master Keanu, pulls it out.
And the way he did it, even the other house guests were commenting on it. He was slow. He was methodical. It was like, come on, man, hurry up. And everybody else is running back and forth. But his mind was locked into what he was doing, and he pulled it out.
And this is the 3rd veto in a row he's won. 3 in a row.
Yeah, I'm with you, Lauren. If they want to get him out, don't make him the first 3 nominations.
I don't know if they can get him out.
Well, I hope not, because I liked him to win.
I know. Well, he's your pick. He's your number 1 pick. I like him too. He's playing a game. He's been playing the game. He's not just waking up week 4. He has been playing the game since the first week. Channel surfers, if you have heard a beeping throughout this podcast, it's my insulin pump. I just put it on Do Not Disturb. So you won't hear it for the rest of the podcast. I should have done that sooner. When Keanu wins, he rubs Ava the wrong way.
There's nothing but crickets. Nobody is applauding him. Nobody is congratulating him. And even Ava, who's the master of ceremonies for the veto, doesn't say anything. It's a big delay on congratulations. So he looks at her and he says, you have a prompt. And she didn't like that.
Well, then congratulate him earlier if that's what you were planning on doing. Everybody's just trying to please everyone else in the house. So even if you're cheering for Keanu, you're doing it silently because no one wants to jump up and down with him. He really is on his own. But he's the strongest player. Really, that's an opportunity there for somebody to form an alliance. Why aren't they talking to him?
I almost thought that Rachel the other day was going to align with him since she grabbed his arm and wouldn't let go.
She's forcing him. I'm forcing you into a final 2. Actually, what do you think about that? A Rachel Keanu final 2. Who wins?
Look,
at this point in the game.
This is the thing. You have to have secrets. I remember, and I don't know what season it was. 2, no, it wasn't 2. It was 3. Danielle, she had an alliance with this younger guy.
Jason.
And they just kept it quiet. I mean, nobody knew. And I was pulling for Danielle to win. I think she came in second that season.
She did. He won. You know what? I saw a YouTube video and I sent you the link. Dr. Will Kirby from Big Brother 2. He is one of the most infamous players in this game. He was recently on Deal or No Deal Island. And I ended up watching until he wasn't on there anymore. I wasn't interested once Will left. But he is talking to Rob, has a podcast, and says these new players, it's a whole different game. This is not the same game that it was back in the golden days. And I noticed that we kind of talk about Big Brother 11 or 12 and further back because that was when it was good. Before it got to kind of what it is now, which is not wanting to hurt feelings. Can you think of any recent seasons that were as good as the classic old ones?
I don't know. They all have their positives. There was one season, it was right before Reindeer Games, and Big Brother 25, Cameron Harden. He was so disliked in the house, but America loved him. And so I thought that was really a great season.
You didn't watch this season, but I like the barbecue.
Big Brother 25, Cameron Harden. Nobody liked him in the house, but America loved him. And so I thought that was a great season.
And if I really stop to think about it, I love the cookout. That was an awesome season. I know you didn't see it. I was pulling for Xavier the whole time. I picked him week 1, just like you've picked Keanu. So that was really exciting to watch. It's just different. Will's right. This is a very different game. It was the same thing when he was on Deal or No Deal Island. He got there and he was being cunning and manipulative. And they were saying he's a narcissist and their feelings were getting hurt. It's a game.
Big Brother is just a representation of the culture that's happening now. And I think that the culture that's happening now is kind of like touchy-feely type of thing. So that's probably why you're seeing it with these young people.
There's a lot of people in the culture that really don't care what they say.
That's only on social media where nobody sees them. They're a bunch of wimps. They're a bunch of weenies.
Okay, well, Mama C complaining about the younger generations. Okay, Boomer, what happens next? The game is really breaking Keanu down since he's on his own, and he apologizes to Ava because he hurt her feelings. He didn't intend that. He lets her know that wasn't his intent. He's crying to her. He's very vulnerable right here. And Ava is giving him a shoulder to cry on, but then she goes into the diary room and says, well, if I'm engaged next week, he's gone. Really, this looks like an opportunity to me to form an alliance with somebody that is completely on their own. Hold on, I'll be right back. We're on vacation at the beach house. My 4-year-old's in the background just fell off the bed because he likes to jump on the bed, even though I tell him a million times not to. Anyway, this looks like an opportunity for Ava to maybe pull Keanu to her side. Like, this would be a natural way where it would come up, unlike Jimmy just jumping in there and saying, hey, let's all be partners. Does she really have a strong alliance? Don't feel like she's had those conversations. People know that she's good. They're not trying to get rid of her because of her social game, but she's not in a clear alliance.
I agree. And it goes back to what we said about Keanu and Rachel. I mean, all you have to do is get a secret, and you have to both keep the secret.
And Keanu, he's a strong player with nobody on his side and his back's against the wall, and he is spilling his emotions to you, Ava, instead of doing the dirty work for the house, which you're not going to win HOH anyway. I'm sorry. You're not winning HOH next week. You should be trying to get Keanu on your side. It just looked like a missed opportunity, and it seems short-sighted for her to say, next week I'll get him out. And you know who gets this game? Who understands that when there's a player with their back against the wall and you're able to do something, you can form that trust, you can create that bond and strengthen it. That player is Mickey, because Riley goes up to the HOH and he tells her, I can't have Catherine up versus me. Mickey is thinking this game through. If she puts Catherine up, it just creates a bigger target on her back. If she leaves her off, then Riley is sitting here promising he'll have her back this entire game. Catherine then feels like Mickey did her a favor. The two of them as a showmance are going to have a huge target anyway, so I get them out of the house. This is smart playing. This is what the game looks like.
And you can find somebody else. There's got to be somebody else who is on the bottom of all this big alliance stuff.
It's week 4. There are so many people. We're not talking about 4 weeks until the show is over.
Right. You can find somebody else to put up that you could get out. That is a big threat.
Unless you're Lauren last week and Will was your only option. Rachel agrees. Catherine isn't going to do anything as far as being a power move to get her out this week. And she's talking to Will and Ashley and Mickey about this up in the HOH room. They're eating their snacks. And it's the perfect opportunity for Rachel to mention, might be a good week to get Vince. This is what we said, Mama C. He's playing too many sides of this house. Rachel's onto him. And she says this stays between the 4 of us in this room.
Yeah, I don't know if I always trust that.
I trust Mickey. I trust Ashley. I trust Will. I don't know. I think this is a trustworthy group. They're not seeing the whole game like we are. Then again, they're seeing more of the game than we are.
It all depends if they're trustworthy enough on Rachel's account. I don't know how close they are with her being a returning player and already winning.
But she's got Vince's number. Don't think that would be a bad move.
I agree.
The crying crib. Mickey has a conversation with Vince in the HOH room. She's not promising him safety. She's not even looking him in the eye. Really, if you're going to take any page out of Lauren's book from HOH last week, not looking somebody in the eye is probably the only one that he might take. And Vince is not handling this very well, that he is not being promised safety.
He goes on and he's going, well, she thinks I'm playing the whole house. And then he says, which I am.
But he says that's a smart move, which it's not. He's been watching it for so long. In week 4, he's at risk. Well, we've been saying since week 1 that this is not smart. This is too much, too fast. But he does seem very likable. He does have a good social game. Whereas it's similar to Ava, but Ava's doing it without throwing names out there, which almost is smarter. Whose game is stronger? Ava or Vinny? What do you think, Channel Surfers?
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to tell. He has one HOH. He is making alliances, but he's making way too many. Ava almost seems like a floater, and I'm surprised that Rachel hasn't honed in on that, but I guess she's not blowing up Rachel's game right now, so she's just going to let it slide.
She's just so non-threatening. I can't think of it, but there have been Big Brothers where someone didn't win comps and won on the social game.
Maybe it was Will.
No.
He didn't have a social game.
No, he was a robot. It was a more recent season. If you guys remember,
Well,
if you
was
can
it
think
Taylor?
of this season, drop it in the comments.
Was it Taylor? I didn't watch her season. I started
No.
watching it.
It wasn't Taylor. No. She had to win comps because they were so mean to her in that house. I love
Right.
Taylor. I love Taylor. I just remember during the final conversation where you're trying to convince the jury, somebody saying, look, I didn't have to play a physical game. I had a strong social game, and I think that person won. Who am I talking about? I have Monday brain, and it's Thursday. So help us out. Vinny knows his back's against the wall, so what else should he do other than blow this game up? He goes up to the HOH room and tells Morgan and Mickey and Zach that after the last vote, Jimmy pulled Vinny, Keanu, and Kelly into the storage room and said, we need to vote together moving forward. Playing all sides is really biting them. Mickey is ready to put up either Vinny or Jimmy because it's clear at this point that they're playing both sides. And really, if you put someone up on the block that's playing both sides, that's a way to have a clean nomination where you're not getting blood on your hands because it's going to be in everybody's interest to get that person out.
Well, then the next thing she does, she calls Keanu up and she says on the face board, look, and the person on the left is one of her targets, and he guessed Jimmy.
And there weren't many people left because a lot of it was grayed out.
So
and as soon as he says it, Morgan and Mickey, they're like, yep, that's it. That's right.
And then he goes and tells them the same story that Vinny told him about Jimmy making an alliance with him and Kelly.
In the storage room, which they can't really trust Keanu, but Morgan really trusts Vinny. So this is all based on them trusting Vinny, who's also playing both sides of the house. So it seems to be between Vinny and Jimmy, and Mickey is having a hard time making this decision. And she's talking to Morgan about it. Morgan is her number 2, and Morgan is giving some pushback on Vinny, where I don't remember when her and Vinny got so close. There's so many alliances going on with Vinny, I can't keep them straight. Do you remember?
I don't.
But she says to Mickey, Vinny's my number 1 guy, right? Well, where does that leave Mickey? On one hand, she has this faux alliance with Jimmy. On the other hand, her number 1, Morgan, says that her number 1 guy is Vinny, and they're both playing the house. One good replacement, maybe they could have swayed Keanu over to their side. He was trying to work something out with them. If Jimmy would have just kept his trap shut and let Mickey handle it, could have probably been the 4 of them. Mickey, Morgan, Keanu, and Jimmy. But why forming all these alliances? Have you seen this show? So just moments before the veto ceremony, Mickey and Morgan call Jimmy up into the HOH, and she just tells him, I'm putting you up. She doesn't want to blindside him, so he causes a big scene, but she doesn't want to give him a lot of time to argue his case to her and manipulate her. She's smart.
She's very smart, and I like the game she's playing. I might change my vote to she's going to win.
Well, I think we have to stick by our original votes, but as the game progresses, we should have like a second one. Like the first one was based on nothing except us reading their bios just to see, I don't know, how much we could channel this as longtime Big Brother lovers. And when she calls Jimmy's name to be the replacement nominee, the house looks shocked. Jimmy doesn't blow up. I don't know that he's going home.
And not if Rachel has something to say about it.
Even if he doesn't win the BB Blockbuster, let's say it's Jimmy and Riley or Kelly and Jimmy, Will would probably keep Jimmy because the other two voted against him. Jimmy
but-
has a bigger target on his back.
Didn't Jimmy put up Will?
You're right. Jimmy did put up Will, and then Lauren put up Will because Jimmy put him up and he got 0 votes during that eviction.
I just don't think that Jimmy is going to have the votes to stay. I mean,
Rachel on his side.
Yeah, Rachel. But you know what? Rachel has been known in this season to vote with the house. She did it with Amy, her best friend.
Did it with Amy, but after that eviction, she said she wasn't doing it anymore. She was ready to play.
Yeah, but I haven't
and
seen
this
that
week
much.
she's throwing Vince's name out. I don't know. I don't know that you take a stab at Jimmy instead of Riley.
Okay. Mickey has already said in this episode that she wants Jimmy to go and talk to Julie after,
She did say
the
that.
eviction.
But
So
she
you
doesn't
have
get to vote.
Mickey. Well, but she has Morgan. I think she can pull Ashley. I think she can pull a lot of people on her side to get rid of Jimmy so that Jimmy doesn't come after her and Morgan.
And I don't think Riley is coming after her, but I think Riley and Kat would go after Ashley, who they seem to be closely aligned with. Jimmy wouldn't go after Ashley. Riley would go after Rachel. Jimmy wouldn't go after Rachel. I don't know. I think in the big picture, it might make sense to keep Jimmy. But we're going to see. Expect the unexpected. So tonight we've got the veto comp and Mama C is going to head to the beach. I'm going to get this edited and out there and we'll see you tonight for the live episode. All right, Channel Surfers. See you soon. Bye.